Philip from VFW 1402. Forgive my voice. I'm actually have a cold right now, so we'll get through this the best we can. I wanted to talk about what we learned in discussions this week, and that was about custom events and how important they are to use. Now, obviously, there might be a time when you could create a single-use application that has no events, but I can't really think of any good reason to do so. So sometimes we have to add events that the application or the operating system just has no idea about. And so one of those custom events that I have right here is called GameOver. As you can see, I added it to the game window, and I did that because the game window is the master object for the game. So regardless of whatever other functions are loading or whether objects are loading, the game window will always be active, so I added it there. And the Android has no idea what GameOver event is. If the system is constantly asking, is the game over, is the game over, is it, and Android's going, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're talking about. And so for it, is no clue. So I have to tell it, what is it? What is game over? I do that setting a timer. As we can see here, I set an interval, 250 milliseconds, to check for my game status. And that allows me to check whether or not the game has been won or the game has been lost. And up here in the game status, we can see that if the item is found, or player 1 HP hit points is less than 0, or the energy is less than 0, then I'm going to fire the game over event. That's all the game status function does. She's only looking for those three conditions. If either one of those three conditions or two condition sets are true, then it's going to fire that event. It's going to tell Android, hey, guess what? The game's over. And so finally, Android has an idea of something that goes, hey, is the game over? I can actually say, yes, the game is over. And then from there, it will call the game over function. And because I specified down here in the load window what would happen if I fired game over, I said I would call game over function. The game over function says that the first thing I need to do is stop the timer, so stop game status so it doesn't call the game over function again. And then I need to remove the event listener. These two right here are probably important. You want to make sure that you clear the timer and you remove the event listener if it's already been triggered and you're not going to reuse it. Because if you don't, you're going to have this continually firing over and over again, and that's not a good thing. So if you need to remove it, make sure that you remove it right after you clear the timer. It just makes things a little bit easier for you. And then from there, if it's found, it'll show the game window. And it's nice and dynamic because these do not really care so much if the game was won or if the game was lost, how it was won, how it was lost. It only cares, was it fired? Because the only thing that matters is right here, if it fires, do this, and then if found, show true or show false. And right here takes care of the handling of whether or not it's going to show true or it's going to show false, which actually works out quite nicely. So I wanted to talk about, just quickly, add event listeners here. You can add your own customs, and it works great. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye-bye.